What's going on, guys? Welcome to our random video on this channel. In today's video, we're talking about the Warriors, and tonight the Warriors are going to be playing the Cavaliers. Now, this is the second time they're playing this season. They play twice a season. In the first matchup in Cleveland, the Warriors didn't necessarily have their best game. Towards the end of the game, the Cavaliers came back, and then you had the situation where Jefferson stepped on Durant's foot, and then you got fouled. They didn't call the foul. And then also before that, you had LeBron, who was on the rim excessively, to the point where the league, after the game, said that he made a mistake. They should have called a technical foul on him. Now, I know some LeBron fans out there, or Cavalier fans, they don't like to hear that, but that's what the league said. So if the NBA said that, and a lot of us noticed it also, we're going to say it. I mean, that's the way it works. But anyways, the Warriors have been really playing some good ball recently, including having better defense. And if you just look at the last game versus the Pistons, they won 127-107. So if they have a game where you notice that they're playing better defense, you have to look for things like that, because in games against the Cavaliers, it should not just be about the transition offense. You have to really be good at defense also. I also thought it was interesting in the game versus the Pistons. If you look at the points, Durant had 25, Curry 24, Thompson 23. Think about that. That's how even the points were between them. If they can really compete with that kind of attitude, where the ball is being shared like that, and look at the rebounds. Draymond Green leading on rebounds. Assists, you had Green, Durant, and Curry. Green at 13 assists, Durant at 9, Curry at 6. First, you want them to think team ball. That's because in situations where a team is not doing good, they're not going to play great defense, obviously, because if the other team is beating them and they're not winning a lot of games, they're not going to be able to compete defensively. When a team is playing team ball, it's not just about assists. It's not even just about the scoring. It's really about the team being out there for each other. And this is why I was talking about when Draymond Green yelled at Durant. I was like, you know what? That situation in itself may not just be a one situation where it's a really awful thing for the team. It actually could be a learning lesson for all of them. It could allow them to understand that if someone yells at someone else on the team, and you have these guys on the team that want to be leaders, you have to allow them to lead the team. And I also thought it was interesting, during that game versus the Heat, you had Steph Curry yelling at his teammates and saying, you know what? We have to play better defense. And since then, what have they done? They played better defense. So I think it's something to look out for the Warriors. And I also think it's impressive that they're sharing the ball like this. This is what we need the Warriors to do. If you're rooting for the Warriors. I'm rooting for the Warriors because I'm a Steve Kerr fan. And also I root for the Warriors because I like the guys on the team. Curry, Thompson, Green, and Durant. Draymond Green reminds me of Dennis Rodman. Control the anger where it doesn't allow you to get out of the game, where you get in too many fouls, or they even eject you out of the game, where some of these referees are looking for a reason to give Draymond Green a foul. That's what's going on. I saw it happen to Dennis Rodman. I'm seeing it happen with Draymond Green. Even in situations where it's happening to Green even worse than what happened with Rodman. You shouldn't be so quick to call a foul on him, but it does happen in the NBA, and I'm sure you guys are aware of this, whether you're a Warriors fan or not. Now, this matchup, the Warriors versus the Cavaliers, in this pregame special, as I call it, I am not saying that this game is that important for a lot of reasons, and this is my opinion. First of all, I just don't think Steve Kerr is going to implement their game plan where the Cavaliers are going to know what they're doing if they potentially meet in the finals. See, this is what I'm trying to say about the Warriors, and especially when they go up against a team like the Cavaliers. I just don't think they're going to do that. I think they're going to compete, just as they did in Cleveland. And with these games, as they get more competitive and in the game when you want to win the game, obviously, because everyone's watching. It's going to be on ESPN. So you have a nationally broadcast game, really compete to win, not just be in the game. You're talking about wanting to win. But I don't think the Warriors are going to show the Cavaliers their game plan. Not if they were going to meet into the finals. I just think Steve Kerr is smarter than that. And I also think that the Warriors look at these regular season games much differently than they did last season. This season, it's not as intense. Although Draymond Green yelled at Durant, although they've yelled at each other before, that's what teammates do. It happens. Not all the time, but it does happen. But the Warriors want to win a championship. And they're not interested in the individual games. They're really not. When you don't win a championship like that, the way they did, where they had a 3-1 lead in the series, they're not looking at this game like it means the most out of the whole season. It's not about that. There's no question that they're focused on a championship. And these kind of games are not going to make or break their season. And now this game is going to be in Oakland. I think the Warriors have a good chance of winning. I think when you're at home, you're not going to see the situations where LeBron was on the rim for that long, where anyone else would have got a technical foul. You're also not going to see the fact that Jefferson stepped on Durant at the end of the game and the foul wasn't called. That's not going to happen in Oakland. And I also think that the reason why it's important that the Warriors have the best record in the league, they're going to have the home advantage in the playoffs. I think that's important for them. They're a really tough team at home. Everyone knows that. It's one of the reasons why I really enjoy watching the Warriors. That home crowd is amazing. They really are a lot of fun to watch. I know you guys over there that root for the Warriors in California, you're watching local games. The way it works on the NBA channel, I don't know if you guys are familiar with the NBA channel or not, but if you watch a game and say you're watching the Warriors at home, sometimes you can see what's going on in the arena, whether it's in the intermission or during commercial break or whatever. Really fun. I mean, they're having a party there. I even seen after the game, if you see how the fans are hanging out around the arena, they're partying. They're a lot of fun. And it all makes sense to me, by the way, because I noticed some Warrior fans that are following my videos. I read your comments. Thank you very much for participating in the conversation. Because when I talk about the Warriors, it's not just about the Warriors and this roster. It's the fact that they hired Steve Kerr, a former Bull, who was a part of some of those Bulls teams that were absolutely amazing. And now you're having him lead the team like a real leader. He's already led that team to one championship already. And you have great perimeter shooters that are allowed to shoot because they have a coach that understands perimeter shooting. That's something I say often when I talk about the Warriors. I talk about perimeter shooting because when I watched Steve Kerr when he was with the Bulls, that was something I really was impressed by. Before him, it was Paxson, and then it was Steve Kerr. And he was a great shooter, and he had a clutch shot. Really understood how he can contribute when he was on the Bulls. And he knows how to lead a team. He knows how to coach. There's something really cool going on with the Warriors. And that's just my opinion based on just seeing the Warriors and how they're evolving. Because they don't have the same roster. I mean, there's some guys that went to other teams. But you have Curry, and you have Thompson, Green, Durant, Iguodala. So in this game versus the Cavaliers, I think what we need to look for is, first of all, this perimeter offense, fantastic. This is also another thing. The Warriors really like to get involved in a transition offense. They're also referred to as a very athletic, quick team because this is the way they run their offense. They can still slow down the game. I think sometimes what happens is that the Warriors get such a lead in the game, and the other team evens it up, then you're the one wondering where the lead went. So I think what needs to happen is that the Warriors, with the transition offense, you need to have good transition defense, perimeter defense. I'll also say this, because this is something that happens in other sports, including hockey. They say hockey has 3 periods, meaning it's a full 60-minute game. And if you even play 5 or 10 minutes where it's not your best hockey, and the other team scores some goals and you lose, then what was it worth that you played 1 period of great hockey? So that's what it means to play a full game. Warriors need to really play a full game. And I think against the Cavaliers, could it be like message sending? Last year, the Warriors just really knocked out the Cavaliers during the regular season. And you know what? If you don't win the championship, you don't win the championship. So what did that game really mean? So that's why I said before that this game is going to have hype around it. It's a repeat of the 2 teams that were in the finals. So obviously people are interested. I know I'm interested in the game, but I don't think it's all that important where the Warriors need to overhype it. And if they win the game, they win the game. What they need to focus on is the way they're playing the game, and this is how they've been talking. It's not about LeBron James. It's not about the Cavaliers. It's about them. This is how winners act. Really focus on yourselves and your own team and what you guys got going on. And if you guys can run your defense the way you run your offense, you're going to win most of the games because the way their offense is fantastic. Their defense continues to improve. So if they can get that going, it's going to be really interesting because I saw Steph Curry in a recent game. You know what they call that? In hockey, they call it a two-way player. Someone who can play offense and defense. One of the best players in the NHL of all time that was able to do this. One of my favorite players of all time, Steve Yzerman. Steve Yzerman was a center for the Red Wings. And what a center does is he plays offense and defense for responsibilities in defensive, neutral zone, and offensive zone. That means you're a two-way player. That you can go up and down the ice, you can play offense, and you can play defense. Steph Curry was doing that in a recent game. No question about that. That's not just because I'm rooting for the Warriors. It was noticeable. He was getting rebounds. He was getting steals. He was getting his shots. He was doing everything. And he was motivating his teammates. If he has that kind of attitude, the NBA better watch out. Because that's the MVP, Steph Curry. And he has Durant on the team. And Thompson. Imagine that. When all of these guys are sharing the ball like this, just look at the stats against the Pistons. 20-something points for each player. Curry, Thompson, and Durant. You better watch out. This team is for real. And the team is getting better. And these guys on a team are not competing against each other. Meaning they're competing with each other so they can win. There's a difference there. All the talk about all the egos on the team and everything else, it's not there with this team. They want to be a team. And they want to win together. Really impressive stuff. That's culture in sports. And this is the basketball culture of the Warriors. This is why they're a tough team. and for the fact that they didn't win last year, and they're not concerned about a record in the regular season, this is the team to look out for. I'm saying it. People can talk all they want about the defense and everything else about the Warriors. Their defense is getting better. Noticeably better. And if you have guys like Curry that are contributing to the defense, Curry can get steals. Curry can contribute. But he's not that defensive player. He's not Draymond Green, obviously. Draymond's really great on the rebounds. Draymond can shoot too, but Draymond's really great on rebounding. Draymond can play defense. Are you kidding? You're going to have Curry that can contribute to the defense with Draymond Green, with a Durant? And you got Thompson. Thompson can play defense too. This league better watch out for the Warriors. Again, I'm not just saying that because it's the Warriors. When you notice that this team is working on the things that they need to improve, as they've been saying, and they're not just talking about it, they're actually doing it. This team is impressive for a lot of reasons. And it starts with the coaching and the players combined together. It's very equal in that way. Great coaching, great players. They're really proving to be a great team. I would also like to see, though, more consistency with that kind of attitude. You're not going to win every single game in a regular season. If a team says their goal is to do that, it's kind of delusional, because who wins every single game in a regular season in the NBA? No one. So we have to think about what they're capable of doing that's reasonable, so they have the energy to compete in the playoffs and the finals if they get there. And I think they have the capability of doing it. I really do. I also think they're better than the Cavaliers. I think the Cavaliers are in a watered-down Eastern Conference. And that's not to say that LeBron James can't compete, because he is an impressive player. But if you're going to talk about the MVP of the league, I don't think it's LeBron James. And that's not me trashing him. It's just that right now, you have James Harden and Russell Westbrook, who are really impressive. And they're not on very good teams. No offense to OKC or the Rockets. But with OKC, that whole idea that Russell Westbrook getting all those triple doubles, it's just not going to add up to playoff wins and a championship. It's not. Even if they get to the playoffs, they win some games, that doesn't mean a championship. And that's because you have one guy doing most of the work. And people are talking about it because obviously it's impressive for Westbrook, but from a team perspective, it's not the best thing. And then also if you look at James Harden just can ball. I mean, this guy can drive the net, he can shoot from the perimeter, the dribbling skills. He's really elusive dribbling. If you ever watch James Harden when he pulls back for a jump shot, he can really dribble the ball. He's got good handling skills. That's James Harden. No question about that. Russell Westbrook can ball too, no question. Most people know that if you follow the NBA. Russell Westbrook can power the ball to the net, could really dribble the ball and shoot, just like James Harden. Those are two guys that can really ball. I just don't think either one can take their team to the NBA Finals. I really don't. Not in that situation. You need a team, a real team. I'm not saying the Rockets and OKC are not real teams or whatever, but a team that actually can compete together, and it's not just one person doing all the work. And that's what you see from the Warriors. It's not just one person doing all the work. And if you see the offense that equal, especially with the game against the Pistons, and it's not just the only game where this happened, you have these guys on this team that want to share the ball. They're not selfish like that. They don't have egos. They support each other. My gosh, I just saw something recently where Steph Curry was getting an autograph from Klay Thompson. Klay Thompson was autographing the score sheet for Curry. And he wanted to do that because I think Thompson had a great night or whatever, and he autographed it. Think about that. Teammates, that really respect each other and appreciate their game. You don't see that all the time. Some of these guys have egos. And by the way, Durant in OKC with Westbrook, Durant probably looked at Westbrook as someone who really wanted to lead the team, but Durant probably felt that he was a leader in his own way also, and probably his role was being diminished. Yeah, they were sharing the ball. They were the two leaders for the team, but he probably didn't agree with Westbrook on how he controlled the ball in the game, especially when he would take some shots that were really not good or even drive to the net when you have absolutely no opportunity, and you would often be stopped. But that was because of the way Russell Westbrook competes. So the way Durant looked at it was that, I've been with this team, and eventually I just want to be on a team that competes as a team, knows how to read the situations. And although Durant recently didn't have the best situation where he wanted to control the ball at the end of the game, when Curry is supposed to be running the offense, those are the lessons to learn. But this is the reason why Durant left OKC. He wanted to be part of a team. And by the way, even though Green yelled at Durant, look at the way they compete. There's not drama about the Warriors. They're just not. They're not about the drama. They want to win games. And they want to play basketball. It's that simple sometimes. Some other teams out there, you might have people on your team who don't want to compete like that. They want to take nights off, whatever. That's not the Warriors. They just want to compete, but they also want to be smart about it. They don't want to get in a situation where they're trying to win every single game of the regular season, like every single game. Like you have to win all the games. I know that might sound funny to some people, but let's think about this realistically, as I was saying before. Do you think a team like the Warriors wants to win every single game during the regular season? Like every single one. And then get to the playoffs and not have the same kind of energy where they compete in the playoffs? Of course not. In the playoffs, it's a tougher game. Guys are sending picks, moving picks, whatever. So you're not going to have the same situation as the regular season. So in the NBA playoffs, you need to have the energy, the effort, and the team, of course, the team ball mentality. And you have to try to get to the finals. That's why I don't even think they really care about what happened with Cleveland in Cleveland. And I don't think they're really going to care that much about this game in Oakland. Because what is it to say? Last year they had a 3-1 lead versus the Cavaliers. And this year in that game in Cleveland, some stuff happened at the end of the game. The NBA said they made mistakes. And the referees were wrong. And that was it. And then if you have this situation in Oakland, do you really think the Warriors care one way or the other? Winning this game doesn't win a championship. It's just the regular season. It's another game that they have to prepare for. And I think this is the way these guys look at the game. But I would like to know what you guys think about all of this. If you're a Warriors fan, or even if you're not a Warriors fan, let me know what you think about some of these teams in the NBA, including the Warriors. And also, if you want to comment and let me know who you think the MVP of the season is, post your comments down below. And of course, if you like this video, give a thumbs up. I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace out.